I just finished up the first demo for a track I'm working on with a singer, and today I'm going to show you through the track and how you can make something just like it. The sound I was after in this was poppy future bass, so Louis the Child, San Holo, early Marshmello, early Flume, and some of those pop sounds that were really big around 2016 when this future bass genre really started to pop off. But the difference here, and something I'm going to show you, is that I'm leaving a lot of space in the track because I don't know what the singer's going to do with the track yet. I don't know the melody she's going to go for and how she's going to take the song and progress it. This will definitely not be the only version of the song. It's probably going to change a lot, but I really wanted to show you where this track is right now. I made it in a few hours yesterday, so let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of it, and then I'll go through and show exactly how I did it. Alright, so the intro of the track is based off of these choppy synth pads. This is a classic like future bass sound. Got the MIDI monitor there so you can see exactly what notes I'm playing. And by the way, all the synths are being done with Serum here in this track. So in this synth, I just have a couple of sawtooth oscillators, and then they're being duplicated a bunch with the unison feature here. And then we're detuning them a little bit to give a bit of that woozy sound. Then the LFO is controlling the envelope. It's controlling the volume of the oscillator. And then I have something else that is controlling the filter cutoff. So this goes throughout the length, and then as we go into that build section I showed earlier, it starts to build up. But we'll get there in a little bit. Then I have these leads going on as well. So the first one, this is a patch from Splice actually. It's like fuzzy and warbly. I didn't really control anything on this. Is pretty much exactly how this preset comes. Then I have this lead duplicated with something else. These leads are very simple because, like I said, I didn't want to take the track in too much of one direction yet because I don't exactly know how the singer is going to take it and progress on it. Then we have these drums come in this intro as well. So here's my drum group, and I have everything in like little subgroups as well. So here, let's open these up. It's a clap sound. Got this loop doing some fuzzy lo-fi hi-hats. Then I have all these little fills going on here. And this is something you see a lot in these future bass tracks, are kind of Foley sounds. Stuff that is very organic sounding and things that are metallic, reversed. I just have a few of these that are just coming in and out throughout this section. So deeper into the intro section here, we just start to build more and more. So here's the pad that I have going on in this section. It's actually not too different from the other more choppy pad that I had going on, but this one is longer, it's being held out and sustained, and the oscillators are just a little more subtle. They're not as like metallic sounding. Melodically though, it's adding a lot of stability to the track in this build-up section. If a singer was going to be singing, I think this lower pad helps to allow the singer to find the note that she's looking for as she's singing throughout the track. Then we also have a bass going on as well. So as we go on deeper, we start to build with some hats. I just have a couple, I have a loop in here from Splice that's just slowly coming in with a filter. Then I have some closed hats that are filling as well. Keep building, keep building. Then I have effects. Then I have some effects coming in here for the build. Let's listen to those. So as we go into the build, we have not much more coming in melodically, but we have a lot more texturally starting to build. So this is something I do for singers a lot when I don't exactly know when how they're gonna take the track. I build the track a lot with the textures instead of building the melodies a ton, because I don't want to take the track in too much of one direction. I'm just trying to make it sound really full and professional. Then we have some more synths that come in here. Just adding more texture and timbre. So here we go into our build right before the drop. So everything builds up and then stops on the 4. We have this little riser right here. This is just another splice thing that's just being pitched up. You'll see that come back here in a second too, but let's go into our drop section, and there's a lot to explain here. So the first thing I got to talk about is these drop synths. So let's solo them and hear what they sound like. And just to show you a little bit of the synth textures going on, they're really nothing special, but it's just that we are stacking so many of them that it creates this really wide and thick sound. So that's just a sawtooth with a little bit of a wobble on it. Honestly, pretty much the same thing, just detuned, and that's a whole chord. These are just so subtly different, and these are all just presets that I found in my Serum and just stacked on top of them. So this is a lot of experimentation. I didn't exactly have a plan for what I was going to use, but it just takes some trial and error to get that right sound. But the way we're getting our rhythm is from LFOTool. Everything is being controlled with LFOTool. So if I turn it off here, this is what it would sound like. Sounds cool, but it's a little too much. We want to get that really cool rhythm that's so key to this genre. So how I did that is I used LFOTool so that we can control all of the synths with just one device. So as you can see, all these automation parameters right here, these are all controlling LFOTool. And this is, if you're not familiar, this is a plugin that does LFOs for everything. In this instance, we're controlling the volume coming in and out, and we're controlling the filter cutoff with this built-in filter here. In this lane, we are bringing the filter cutoff in real quick. Then the way we're getting our rhythm is from changing the LFO's rate. You can see this parameter turning up and down. And then in this little section right here, watch how the curve of the plugin changes rapidly. So the filter cutoff, it doesn't look like it's doing a lot. It's just doing this really quick sweep here, but listen to the difference. So this is without it. I just bypassed it. Now let me put it back on. You see that little bit of movement that happens there, and you can hear the thing just open up. So I'm getting all of this to happen just by playing around with these different features within LFOTool. You can do this without LFOTool. You can do this with something like Ableton's auto filter. Let me actually replicate something similar really quick. So if you don't have LFOTool, that's just a way to do it as well. And you can control the amount of it. So opening and closing with this amount knob as well. So I'm just familiar with LFOTool. I've been using it for like 6 years. So that's just my go-to, but you can definitely do it with the auto filter that's built into Ableton or any other free plugins out there. I know there's a lot of alternatives to this. So now onto leads. The only lead going on in this section is just this vocal sample. This is really cool, so let's check this out. I have it frozen right now because the one plugin adds some latency. So let's open it up and turn all the plugins off to see what it would sound like without them. I'm gonna group. You can always group your effects here in Ableton and then turn them all off. So this is just a one-shot vocal sample from Splice, and all I did was open it up. Let's do it one by one here. Turn these off. So there's a little bit of a reverb. Then here's the OTT effect. If you're not familiar, definitely pull this preset in. It's under the multiband dynamics section. So this adds just some crazy intense compression. See how long it extends that sound of the reverb, and it pushes the vocal sample to its limits. Then we have little Alterboy that is controlling the formant shifting and the pitch. So this instantly takes it from this to this. It's really glitchy sounding, and it's also high-pitched and low-pitched at the same time. The way this plugin works is just insane, and I really love this plugin. If you can find this on a deal, please go get it. And then all I'm doing is just taking off the high ends just a little bit. So instantly we get this really cool atmospheric lead sound. Let's take a listen in the whole mix. And again, melodically, not doing a whole lot with that lead. It's not really taking the direction of the song in one way or another. We're really just following root notes there. And then the only other thing going on with the leads is, you heard this riser earlier. I use this as a little bit of a fill. Instantly sounds like a Flume song with that. That is a Splice sample, or a Splice preset right here. You can see that. Now let's go to our bass. This is also just following root notes. This bass sound is kind of doing two things at once. We're kind of getting like low mid weight that you see in a lot of like Reese style basses. You can find those in like a Splice library, but then we're also getting that fat, simple 808 sound underneath as well, and that's coming from the sub oscillator. So if I solo the sub os, that's dead simple, nothing going on there. But once we add this, this is adding some, this is adding this like warpy sound to it. And then once we add this as well, this is duplicated and being detuned, so it starts to put it into the stereo field, and we get this really wide bass sound. And then if we were to just solo this oscillator, you can hear that in the stereo field. You might need headphones though. Now let's take a look at our drums here. So everything on the foundation of the drums here is very simple. Just kick and clap. Let me open up this kick so you can see it a bit. Solo these. I have this one clap that is kind of pre-shifted. So if I were to zoom that in, you can see stuff right before, right there, adding some extra texture. But then what's really crucial about these drums and getting really cool texture out of them is this group where I have a bunch of hats. I have this splice sample that's just adding some like percussive stuff that just, it feels like it's tickling your ears. Also, in addition to that pre-shifted clap sound, the other thing I have going on with our clap is that right before it comes in on some of the claps, we have a reverse glass sound effect. Just sounds like that. And it instantly just adds really cool texture. Then I also have a tom sound in here too. All these drums here is just me experimenting with different fills and drum sounds just like interspersed throughout the entire drop. Then I also have a couple more fills going on here. Let me solo this group with the fills. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the entire drum group. All right, and then we go on to verse 2. The one thing I did add here is a little bit of an extra melody here. This is something that might stay, it might go. Let me solo that really quick. So the next thing that goes on with this track is that we build up and do a chorus with no drums, and then the drums come back in. So let's take a listen to this. But all of this is now structure and arrangement. I don't think anything else is being added new to the track. Chords are filtered a bit, but they're opening up. You can see that right here. So this is where the track is sitting right now. Not done yet. This is just a first iteration. I just sent it off for feedback. So let's see where it goes. So overall, I'll give you the exact structure of the track if you wanted to recreate this yourself. So we start off with an intro. So yeah, 8 bars of an intro. Then we kind of have our verse here, which is just 8 bars. Then 8 more bars of a build. Eight bars of the drop section. Another 8 bars of a verse here. Another 8 bars of a build. Then we get to this chorus with no drums. So this and this acts like another build going back into the final chorus. Final chorus. Let me know if there's any suggestions you have for the track. So this is still a work in progress, and it's going to change a lot, I'm sure. But I definitely wanted to show you this and show you how I approach working on a track for a singer. If you're a singer and you need any production on your track, go check out onechannelproductions.com because I'd love to produce a track for you. Thanks so much for checking this out today. I really appreciate it. And again, let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions, and I hope you have a great day.